So, since we haven't had a podcast in a month,
Month!
or more, it feels like. I think I wasn't
It might
even
be
on
more.
the last one, maybe. But
September 24th.
we've-
I was watching it today. So.
oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
we've all experienced a lot of life. In the meantime,
Hopefully.
I've flown 3 times in that amount of time, which has been nuts.
3 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Once for an on-site, once for a bachelor party, and once for a wedding.
Oh, yeah, bro. Dang.
Yeah, so I flew out for an on-site for the engineering department at work. It's really cool. We went to this mountain resort in Seattle. Basically did nothing except fun stuff the whole time and eat really weird food that they catered for breakfast.
What was the weird food?
The weird food was the first day they had this chicken sausage, which have you ever had Vienna sausage or seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very pale sausage.
Oh,
that
yeah,
looks
for
like
sure.
kind of creepy.
It looks weird. Like a severed finger.
And yeah, a little bit like a severed finger.
Yeah, sure.
It looked like that, except like a little more cooked, and was like chicken and some other flavor that I can't remember. And it was one of the more questionable things I've ever eaten, but actually tasted pretty good, and I got seconds of it. But a lot of people hated it.
Oh.
And then the next day they had some other weird stuff, or not so much weird, just like it took a lot of time. So we had like 60 people trying to get through line, get breakfast and all that. And they decided
You had
on the
60
second
people
day,
at your on-site?
yeah,
Wow.
And
62,
he
I think.
Memorized all their names.
Yeah.
In alphabetical order?
No.
Oh,
No,
that'd
but
be
if I
even
look
more
at a picture, I
impressive.
could tell you all of them.
That's
but,
impressive.
What?
I didn't think
But
I
the
could do it for
second
half
day,
mine.
Bro.
we had avocado toast and like bagels and
pick?
stuff. And so you would want to obviously toast the toast usually, unless you just want to spread cold avocado on your cold piece of bread.
No, that's weird.
And so all they gave us for 60 people was a single 2-slice toaster. And that was it.
So you just have to make that
And
work.
so literally
Dude.
we just like, thankfully some people only took 1 slice, so they'd put down 2, and then like eventually you got a little bit of
bad
a,
for the
like,
gluten-free people.
backlog.
Yeah, sure.
But it was still horrifically slow. I think I got
Bro.
lucky and was like the 5th person in line, so it only took me like 10 minutes. But everybody
Only
else took
10
like
minutes?
an hour to get through the line.
Dang,
So
bro.
that was very weird. But the story I was actually going to tell about this on-site
Oh, yeah.
is as soon as I sat down on the plane to fly out there, I was in one of the first like 5 rows, which was sick, and zone 1, which is also sick. Never been that early on a plane in my life. But we were already a little bit delayed, and so I sat down, was stoked that we were finally leaving, and then as we were about to start taxiing away from the gate, there starts to be like some commotion behind me and stuff, and then somebody just yells for one of the flight attendants and asks for a puke bag because somebody was about to be
How close to you?
they were in row 19, so they were like 11 rows behind me. They
Okay.
were like 14 rows behind me, so not bad.
Yeah, not bad for sure.
But
Not enough to smell it from a distance.
so one, like the beginning issue there is every seat is supposed to have a puke bag, like a very obvious puke bag that's like there
Yeah.
already.
That's
And theirs didn't have it.
protocol.
And then so they yelled for the flight attendant, who looked in the spot that they usually keep them, and there was also none there. In this like little cubby that was like up in the carry-on area. They opened that and they're like, oh no. And so by the time they actually got one, this person had just vomited it all over the floor.
So you're
And so
telling
they
me
had
that
to-
nobody else around them
I
also
guess
didn't
not,
have a
or
puke
maybe they
bag?
didn't
Like,
think fast enough.
like-
Like I don't know.
Wow.
gosh.
And so they just threw up all over the floor, and they had to like reconnect the gate and
Dang.
bring like a maintenance crew on in like hazmat suits basically to clean up the puke. And then
what?
they let her deplane because
Bro.
we're not letting her go on this flight.
Oh, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
And then we finally got to leave.
Dude.
So
It was
I
rough.
gotta ask, do you know where she was sitting specifically? Like, was she aisle? Was she window?
She was middle.
Those middle seats, man.
That's nothing's worse.
Yeah.
Like, how do
Did she
you?
just puke right on the ground in front of her?
Yeah, like what
I
happened?
think
Like,
so. I would assume so.
did somebody just
I
like?
didn't ask for many details.
Sure. Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. So
Yeah.
that's all right.
So yeah, that was that.
Wow.
How did
You
you
could
feel
say
like you were
that's
gonna get
gross.
sick that whole flight?
No.
Okay.
You couldn't smell it at all, which I was very thankful for. But I don't really
Sure.
get like queasy from stuff like that. Like both of you could just vomit in front of me right now, and I'd be totally unfazed.
I don't think
Sure.
we're going to, but we.
What gets
could.
you queasy?
Almost nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Like blood? You're cool
Snot
with
to a
blood?
certain extent. Like
Snot,
snot bothers
okay.
me a lot.
Interesting.
But other than that, not much.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark?
I don't think I would
Most
be.
things.
I'm not like a.
Everything.
I'm not like a like.
Gluten.
Oh, you puked, so now I'm gonna puke. I'm like a. Oh, you puked. That means I might get sick. Like that's how I feel. I'm
yeah.
worried.
Your
You're
agoraphobia
worried.
just kicks in.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm worried
exactly.
that I'm gonna die. Yeah. So I'm not a sympathy puker, but I am a.
A sympathy puker.
A
I've never even
sympathy-
heard of
you're
that.
more
That's
of
so
a,
funny.
Like, hey, can you please not do that around me because I don't want to get sick.
Exactly. 100%. That's me. Like I don't want to. I don't. No, I ain't about that.
That's
But-
funny.
So to transition into our topic, you could say that woman really got scammed by that plane because she didn't have a puke bag.
Such a horrible transition.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally
it was the
scammed.
only viable
but-
one for that situation.
Yeah. I mean, do
Do
you guys want to
think
do?
she got refunded?
Oh, I doubt it.
You doubt it? Then she
Yeah,
definitely got
It's not
scammed.
the airline's fault she got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ate some
but
Olive Garden beforehand. Like,
I guess yeah.
Yeah. If she had, she technically could have gotten on a later flight if they would let her fly.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah,
So, man, that's rough.
that
Well,
is rough.
I cannot imagine. Like that's honestly one of my biggest fears is throwing up on an airplane.
Yeah, it's like, especially if they deplane you, because it's like, congrats, you just delayed the flight, threw up in front of 200 people, and you don't get to go.
Bro.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
That's so sad.
What a
I
terrible combo.
Yeah,
of,
dude,
of
I feel
events.
bad for this person.
Oh,
That just sucks. But I'm glad they weren't on the plane anymore for your
too.
sake.
So glad.
yeah, for sure.
I would have been like, my face would have been pressed up to the window as they were walking by. I'd have been like, no way. Sorry, like there's no worse sickness that like a standard sickness. There's no worse like standard sickness than puking
sure.
and throwing up, like stomach
throwing up
stuff.
is the worst.
It's the worst. Nothing's.
yeah.
I mean, I'll take the flu I had 3 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
102 fever 3 days in a row, rather than throwing up for 2 hours straight
Oof,
or
man.
6 hours straight, maybe.
I'm
Or even
like,
I might
less.
trade the two.
Throwing up at all.
For me, it's like tied.
Yeah.
Like puke is like really, really bad. Like if you're doing it repeatedly. But I've had strep throat so many times in my life that I have to put like not being able to swallow water up there because your throat's so like
It's just throbbing.
rough and like
It
painful that
hurts.
you can't even swallow water. Like that's
Yeah.
that's up there with like repeated vomiting for me.
Yeah. And let's be honest, like if you're sick, you're having a pretty terrible time. Regardless regardless of what it is. So it's just like levels of terribleness. And it still sucks regardless. So yeah, but we're talking about scams today.
We are talking about scams. Do we want to maybe talk some, before we jump into our topic, do you want to do like some currently trending? Because it's been a month.
Yes.
People have no idea what's going on
Yes.
in our lives.
Yeah.
So,
right?
Nick, do you want to start? Like,
yeah,
what's
when was our
happened?
last pod?
It's been September 24th was the last day it was posted.
Okay.
So it's
like
been a month. It's been a month.
It's been like a
It's been a month.
All right,
Straight
what
up a
have I
month.
done in a month? Let's see. I'm looking at my calendar. Oh, dude. Well, I think I talked about this. Did I talk about the Rockies game the last time we were here? I got to go down on the field.
good question.
It was sick.
I don't think so.
There was a drone show
No, you
at the
definitely
Rockies
didn't talk
game.
about that.
Oh, guys, it was sick. It was tight. We got to go down on the field, and then there's a drone show.
How did
or
you like? Was this just anybody
Just
could go
run
on the
out on
field?
the
Anybody
field
went
and
on the
happened to be
field.
during-
Everybody went on the field.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That must have driven the landscaping crew crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
for
I'm sure that was.
I mean, we
frustrating.
couldn't go on the
Grass.
merry-go-round.
the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
No, we could go on the grass, but we couldn't go on the infield,
Oh,
the dirt.
interesting.
Yeah, so they roped that off. But yeah, because like so it's
I feel
illegal.
like they'd be more like cautious of the grass.
I know that's because
know.
I've been on.
It
that
was really
field.
nice grass, by the way. It was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Pristine.
Maybe it was just way more comfortable being in the grass, or they're like, hey, nobody's gonna want to sit in the dirt anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like the
for
dirt's
sure.
easily like raked and
Yeah.
sprayed and
Yep.
combed. So
Yeah, so I guess I didn't know this, but we like for the drones to get into the stadium and above seats, like you can't legally have people underneath drones while you're doing a drone show. because if it.
Oh yeah, because of the
if it
drone
broke.
law of
Yeah.
1979.
The drone law.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of like we were in the nose. Like I
think it was a EULA law, right?
What is it called?
E-
The rock
EULA
pile or
or
whatever. So that's where they were doing the drone show above the rock pile.
Right.
So we had to.
So all the
Go
people
into
that
the
got $5 tickets, like you had to leave.
Yeah, I had to leave and go onto the field.
Yeah,
and it
that
was
was a good
sick.
deal.
That is pretty cool.
And it was for challenge, so there's like 60 of us, and but I mean, there's tons of people on the field. So that happened. It was sick. We celebrated Nate's birthday, which was tight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then everybody got sick because of it. That was sad.
Also-
Yeah, let's recap that. So we
Yeah.
went out to we were gonna go to Crazy Carl's.
Oh yeah,
that might have
Crazy
saved all
Carl's.
of us. Honestly.
Oh, that could have saved the night.
that could have
and the
that
week.
could have saved
So
the night.
my first gripe of the night, though, is with Isaac, who suggested Crazy Carl's, then didn't show up till the
Yep.
whole birthday.
He didn't even come.
Yeah, it's true.
Unbeknownst to me, I would have pushed back on this. It was 35 minutes away.
Yeah.
It was a
Long
drive.
drive.
Like, what? We were planning to do literally anything else that night except drive? Nope.
Nope.
No, just driving. Yeah, so we were
gosh.
gonna go to Crazy Carl's.
Yep.
And then, well, they had like a 30, 45 minute wait. And we're like, okay, this is already half an hour drive. Like, we got to change something. So we decided on Bad Daddy's burger bar or whatever.
Bad Daddy's burger.
And it was a fine burger. It wasn't like incredible.
Mine was really good.
No, mine was tight.
Yeah, mine
was
shocking.
So good.
But I woke up the next day, and this is Sunday morning now, getting ready for church. And we get a text from, I think Matt might have been the first one. And Matt was like,
yeah.
yo, is anybody else feeling like pretty
Feeling
sick from last night?
He did like the throwing up emoji or whatever. The green face emoji. Man, that was rough. And then Mark, you were feeling kind of sick. Didn't you?
And then, so Joel also threw up the night. Also, I think our video just started. So I don't know what happened there. I think I might have hit it, but that's okay. Nobody really watches the YouTube. So
Yeah,
first
it's
few
all right.
minutes, first 10 minutes will just be a logo.
Just for this.
Yeah, so Joel and Matt were stomach feeling sick. Everybody else was fine at that point, I think.
Yeah.
And then like Monday,
Nate.
Nate started getting sick Saturday night while we were all there.
Yeah, well, we're all together
Yes.
for
Yes.
his birthday.
So
It
then
was
Nate
sad.
didn't show up to church, so he had like flu or whatever. I think Monday was clean. Tuesday or Monday night, I started feeling really sick.
Oof.
And like
Tuesday, I
flu
think.
stuff. So I got the flu from Nate.
Yep,
And I
for
had
sure.
Monday night through like pretty much till I woke up Friday. It was just miserable. Like 102 fever.
Big suck.
I took 3 days off work. It was nuts. And then Jaime got sick as well after or sometime around when I did. We also had a worship night in there before all that. Yeah, it was a rough.
Yeah,
So
we
I
had
think-
the Calcev worship night.
And then
that
Nick, you
Sunday.
got sick a little.
I got sick a little.
I think Samuel's the only one who didn't get sick.
I got sick somewhere in there, but I think it was more from my on-site.
Yeah, which was like the next week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Samuel emerged unscathed, while the rest of us
Kind of
got
felt
demolished.
something on different levels.
Yeah. I'm glad though that I didn't get the stomach stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and then Joel actually showed up to church that day. He was, and then he texted me like halfway, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave right after service because I think I'm getting sick." And I was like, "Yeah, you were sick last night.
Last night, bro.
Go
You
home.
should have not come in the first place.
Go home." Yeah. So
So that was tight. That was
yeah,
crazy.
so tight, so tight.
Yep. The birthday was tight. The sickness, not so tight.
Yeah, sickness was not so tight.
Yeah.
I beat everybody that night. Felt pretty good.
Yeah, I was going like 50%. So
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah.
Sure.
I was just like, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you hate hanging out with
Not
me.
because not because it was Nate's birthday or anything, but
You're just feeling sick.
I was just no.
No?
I don't know what I wanted to do. Oh, because I was leaving early the next morning to go see my mom for her birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're almost never at church right now. Like,
No, this past weekend was the first time I was at church. Before that, it was like the 10th of September, I think it
do
was.
you remember?
So, big suck.
Yeah.
So that was tight. And then the next weekend, we had fall retreat. Well, I had fall retreat with Christian Challenge, and Mark was there.
What up? And
And
Shelby.
I wanted Samuel to be there, but
But they said we could only bring us.
yeah, I didn't. Well, I didn't hire you in the
didn't
first
hear about
place.
for a while, and then I asked Mark about it, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, you're not going." And I was like, "Nice."
No. I was so bummed, but that's all right. It was still sick and fun weekend with all the college students.
Yeah, it was really cool being there. Honestly, like
Yeah,
really
Mark
enjoyed
loved
it.
it. Little shameless plug for their new worship song that came out.
Yeah,
The shameless plug.
I can't. Well, yeah, our song had dropped like literally that day, that weekend.
Yeah,
so,
that was tight. That was tight.
but we didn't think to like play it.
No,
That would have been a good idea.
That would have been a great
Been a
idea.
great idea. So I don't know if anybody actually listened to it though.
I did.
Are we gonna play it at church?
Samuel, for some reason, your mic it feels like you are in another room right now. Can you get a little
I
closer?
am right here, Mark.
I know. I
Bro,
don't
he
know
is
what's
next to
happening
us.
at all.
So
You
what?
just,
What
you
are
just
we
keep
playing
getting
your new
quieter.
song?
Oh man.
I can learn the drums for it in like a day.
Okay. Oh man, that's just hold on. I gotta fix Samuel's audio. This is so bad. I have you turned almost all the way up. Keep talking. Samuel. Tell us the story.
Hello. I have no more stories. I've run out of stories.
Oh, there you are.
I can tell you a lot of stories about.
There he is.
I don't know the wedding I was at, but
Oh, the wedding.
the
I
wedding.
would have to use too many names for that.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Redact those names. So yeah, another thing I did was go up to Breckenridge, which was sick, and got some sick French pastries.
Oh,
Guys, so good, so good. Yeah, that was for Lauren's mom's birthday, which was tight. And that's kind of been my month.
well, that's
So it was homecoming at UNC this past week, so it was a party.
it's always a party.
It's always a party, and UNC of course lost their football game because they lose every game.
I didn't even know they had a
suck.
football team.
Yep, they have a football team, and they suck. But it's almost better to just know that they don't have a
lot of
football
school
team.
pride there.
Yeah, and no school pride at all. So even when I was a student, I went to one football game.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a guy.
what a guy, right?
And now
What a
you
guy.
work
and now
on
I
campus.
still work at the campus, and I haven't gone to any more football games. So I've been on this campus 10 years almost. I've been to one football game.
Again, I did not know they even had a football team.
Yeah,
Like what? Is
Good
this
for you,
a
bro.
Have you
D3?
ever gone pro from that team?
yes, yeah. There's one guy. I think he's a cornerback. Plays for the Broncos.
Nice.
And then Ed McCaffrey was our coach a few years ago, and he played for the Broncos and is a Super Bowl champ, I'm pretty sure. Back in the day, like this was in the 90s when he played for the Broncos, I think. So, but he also sucked because he was our coach, and he would only play his son as the quarterback, and his son sucked at quarterback. So we just were again terrible because favoritism. So
Nice.
yep. Yep. So that's kind of my life. A quick nutshell, obviously. So still here, still
Still
in
alive.
challenge, still alive. So good
Still
stuff.
alive, barely breathing.
I'm breathing pretty fine.
Didn't get the reference. All right.
I got the
Okay,
reference.
okay,
I just
yeah.
didn't want to acknowledge it.
Let's see. For me, I also had an on-site, just like Samuel did. I went to Orlando for some reason. It's a swamp, guys. Orlando is in like the middle of. It's so like in inland. There's no beach. I don't know why they made Disneyland, Disney World, and Universal. All those places in Orlando. Like, why did they pick Orlando? I know there's like reasons that Walt Disney did that because he like technically it's its own town. But like it was so hot, guys, so humid. I don't know how people go there in the summer. It was 80-ish, 80 plus, 80, 85.
wow. Yeah.
And it was so hot and humid. It was awful. It was
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, but I did get to go to Perry Hotter. I did get to go to Harry Potter Land.
Oh, I was like, what?
I did get to go to Harry Potter
Got it.
Land, and that was it was cool. I'm not crazy about Harry Potter, so like
Okay.
the ride was cool. It was
Sure.
only like 2 minutes long though.
What's
Like,
the ride?
There's
I've never even
there's
been
like
there.
7 rides. What do you mean the ride?
Oh gosh.
It's the Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
Oh well, the only one we had access to was the Escape from Gringotts.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that one of the best ones?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Only
Yeah.
have
Is there a
access
better
to
one? Have you been?
Yeah.
You've
There's
been?
like at least 3 or 4 rides in Harry Potter World, I think.
Yeah.
At least when I went, huh. You got robbed.
What?
You did have to do a scavenger hunt in the
We did
middle
a
of the day
scavenger
for some
hunt. That's
reason.
true. So the first 2 hours or so were kind of filled with like it was in like Universal. It was like their thing. It was their scavenger hunt. Like, hey, find this thing, like what street corner is this, and like how many miles is it from this place on this sign, and you got to go find these things. So we spent like 2 hours doing that, and then lunch was just a mess. We were gonna go to this one place, and we're like, oh, it's just a basic burger place though. Let's go here. And they're like, oh, this is seafood. It's going to be sit down. Great. Oh, but it's really expensive. Let's put a reservation in. 10 minutes later, okay, let's go back to the burger place. And then we go back to the burger place. What?
How many of you were there on this?
In my group, there's like 4 or 5 of us. It was not that big of a group.
Oh,
What about at the on-site?
On the on-site, it was like 30.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. And
what the heck, bro?
yeah. So I just wanted to eat. So we would go back to the burger place.
Of course, you're always eating.
Well, it was like late and we're walking around and it's hot. I just want to sit down and drink some water.
Yeah.
And then our buddy shows up. He's like, oh, guys, I can take you to the Harry Potter restaurant. We're like, okay, great. We'll just go there. Fine. After we're already in line for the other place again.
No.
Go to Harry Potter. We get in line. I'm like, okay, great. This is fine. I'm just going to figure out what I can eat. There was like 2 things I could eat. I was fine with it. We stood in line for 5 minutes and then they're like, hey, so nobody really wants to eat here because it didn't really look that good or whatever. So I was like, oh my gosh, guys.
Again?
Yeah, so then we
how
all
long
just-
have you been walking around trying to find a place?
Close to an hour.
An hour.
Yes. So the scavenger hunt ended at 1:15 or 1:30. It was 1:30.
Sure, yeah.
And we were going to go to Mythos, which is a really cool restaurant in the Jurassic Park side, but we didn't have access to that park, so we couldn't go. So then we, threw an audible. So
Of course.
probably between 1:30 and 2:30, we're just picking a place to eat. So we killed at least a whole hour just walking.
Nothing. Yeah.
And then
ridiculous.
my buddy and I ordered just a burger. I ordered gluten-free bun on mine, fries. Great. We put it in the app. We couldn't use our gift card that they gave us because you can't put the gift card in the app, which is fine, whatever. So we just paid for the credit card. We're like, hey, we'll just buy a shirt with this card.
Sure.
And then our other friend, he was trying to order himself on the app and couldn't get it done. So he's like, I'm just going to go to the register, see if they'll help. Well, they actually let him check out at the register, which they kept telling us that you couldn't do. He used his gift card, which would have been so nice if we could do that. And then, so he ordered like 10 minutes after us. He sits down. 2 minutes later, his food comes out.
No way.
And my buddy and I were just looking at each other like, what? Where's ours? So we go up and ask. We're like, oh, it's coming in. Blah, blah, blah. And we also paid $6 for water because it was like, okay, well, I wanted just a water cup, but they didn't have anything in the app, so I had to get the $6 water bottle.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there with our $6 water bottle. And this, again, the other guy who's gotten his food first, got to use his gift card. He's sitting down eating his food. And then as I come back to the table, checking like on our food, I see this just little plastic cup sitting on the table. And I was like, what's this? He's like, oh, I just got water. And it was free. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so we spent like $12 on water when we could have spent $0. And also could have used our gift card, but we couldn't do that. So it was just a mess.
How long did it take for your food to get out
We ate
there?
at 3 o'clock. So an hour and a half plus after trying to eat for the first time, we finally got to eat.
Wow. Dang, dude.
Yeah.
And how was it?
Well.
What?
How was it?
It was actually really good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. If you're going to go to Universal, Richter's. It's a burger
Richter's.
place, old-timey burger place. Really good. They actually made it specifically gluten-free, which is find out why it took so long. They made it gluten-free. The fries are gluten-free. It was awesome. It was
No way.
Yeah, it was a great
They
experience.
hooked you up, bro.
They did. It was super good too. I
Dude,
loved it.
I'm sure you felt so loved.
Yeah, they closed at 3, so we barely.
Barely got out of there.
Yeah,
Bro, that's crazy.
that's pretty much what's happened to me. I got sick the week before that.
Yep.
Went to Universal. Did on-site stuff. And we shattered a light bulb in the Airbnb that we had.
Oh.
Everybody looked up.
was
to our
it?
lights. No. Shattered light bulb in our Airbnb. It was
dang.
like slanted. And he's like, oh, let me just like fix this. And he touches it, like barely makes contact. And the outer rim of the light bulb, not even the wire, not the whole thing, just the outer glass,
Yeah.
just unhooks and shit falls to the ground and shatters. It was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And he's
what?
still sitting there. The wire's still there.
Yeah, his hand's still in the air.
Yep, it was crazy. So,
Man.
yeah, other than that, that was my on-site experience.
Sick, bro.
Crazy flights. Oh, hold on. Sorry. This is probably boring, but this is nuts.
I think we have no topic anymore this week.
I know.
think it's
No, we
just
got to
gonna
talk
be
about
you.
scams. We got to talk about scams. We're gonna get there. I got scammed by Southwest. Here, how about I segue it? So, to tell you how bad this flight was, my flight back, I paid the extra $60 to get the A1 through 15 section of boarding because I wanted to pick my own seat and not. So I was in the back of B section on the way to Orlando. I didn't think or process or
This is
realize
foreign language to me as somebody who's only flown Southwest once.
Southwest is great. Anyway,
I'm too poor.
so it's A, B, and C group. A, B, and C. You board in order. It's open seating. Take what's open. I was in the late B's, which is not great. It's not terrible, but when you fail to realize that there are like 100 families on the plane going to Disney World with their
Yeah.
kids
Oh,
and their
gosh.
grandmothers and everything, that really comes in handy being on the plane early. So I got on the plane, I think I'm like B50 something, so pretty late B, but I checked in right on cue. They must have all done early bird check-in. So I go in, I'm like, okay, there's a middle seat in the exit row. Don't really want a middle seat. I should be fine. So
But exit row, that's
exit
worth
row,
it.
I know. It was like, that was a decent, but I was like, no, let me go get a
row is
window. I'm just going to
tight.
sleep this whole plane because we left at like 5 in the morning. It was early. So we got into the back of the plane, and right as I'm like about to, like, I'm probably like third in line, the last window seat gets taken.
No.
I'm like, God dang it. Like, I'm like literally a couple people off.
Dang,
And I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, well, pretty far back of the plane at this point. Like, I gotta do something. So I picked the aisle seat, and there's a middle seat open. I knew it was a full flight. I was like, okay, this is fine. And then I see this elderly couple coming down, and they're looking for 2 spots. And I'm like, there's a spot next to me. Like, okay, like, hey, you guys have this. I'd want this if my wife was on this plane. So like, let me just switch. So I switched a couple rows up, aisle
guy.
seat. Great. I was like, okay, still an aisle seat, whatever. I'm fine.
Another elderly couple.
A second of
Honorable. Oh, gosh.
But little did I know that there's this family on this plane that had the worst possible idea of seating their family. So how they did it is I'm in the right side. So I'll start on the left. On the left side, on the window seat, there's just some man, I don't know, unrelated to the whole thing. He slept the whole time.
Oh, nice.
Middle seat, woman, so mom with baby on her lap.
Okay.
Aisle seat, husband. Next aisle, me, aisle seat, grandma in the middle, toddler in the window. So I am now in between
A family.
a family.
Yeah. You're in between
Why
this
did
family.
they do
I don't know, but here's the deal. So at one point, like, we're about to take off, and then the mom offers to like give me her middle seat, and I'm like, I don't really want a middle seat. Like, that sounds terrible in between this big dude and then your husband. Like, that's just like, aisle seat's good. And so I stuck with the aisle because I'd already given up my seat once. I was going to do it again, and
Yeah, bro. Come on.
I may have made a terrible mistake.
I think you made a terrible mistake.
that was
But I still blame them because they should have thought they never knew it was a full flight. They had announced it multiple times. It was on the screens. And so as we're going through, they start taking off and all that. I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to go to sleep. Well, grandma over here doesn't have anything. So the dad is like pulling stuff out of the above stuff. Like, all the guys, people with kids, how much stuff do you have?
Dude,
There's so much.
So much.
They have multiple bags. There's like
they gotta
milk
be
bottles.
prepared
There's
for
snacks.
everything.
Yeah, there's like the little
Revisit this
applesauce.
episode once you have a couple kids.
Yeah, dude. And you're going to be like, I've
No
at
thanks.
least got 3 backpacks
You are one
at
of
all
the
times.
dude. You take a backpack everywhere.
I know.
You're
No,
gonna
we're
be
just-
one
I'm
of
not
those
doing it.
people. Yeah,
Just
you're
think
gonna
about
be.
there's 3 of you.
You don't have a purse. You have a backpack, and you take it everywhere.
I know.
You are gonna be a dad with like 6
I
bags.
cannot
Yeah.
imagine.
Oh,
I
dude, you will be.
promise not. I will
Bro.
have one extra bag. That's it.
No, you will.
We
be.
will
way.
see.
Anyway,
One extra
so,
bag.
so this guy,
That's like huge.
so this guy's like pulling his suitcase out, opening up the whole. I mean, like a suitcase. And pulling stuff out,
Dude, of
handing it to grandma. Grandma's not paying attention because there's a 6-year-old next to her. So
yeah.
I'm holding this guy's stuff,
No.
like an iPad, some
What?
headphones.
You're
I mean,
kidding.
like, I am just the middleman for this darn family on this
Oh, you should
plane.
have switched with the 6-year-old.
You think I was
seriously.
going to actually like? That was the clear choice.
Obviously.
But I'm not going to suggest that. Like, hey, give me your 6-year-old's window seat.
Oh, I would have.
I should have.
You
I'd
should
have
have
been
like,
like, hey, I can swap with the kid, and the kid can sit in between grandma and dad.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's it.
totally blame the family in this scenario because they
Sure.
should have thought through, okay, this is a full flight. If our kid wants a window seat, that's fine, but take up the whole row.
Yeah, take up the
Yeah.
whole row.
Yeah,
Like
it
three
should have
people
been
over there.
dad on the left aisle, mom, grandma, kid. Easy. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
But they didn't pick that. And then, like, who's going to give up their aisle seat for a middle seat? Nobody.
Dude, obviously you didn't.
I would,
I
to
would now.
not be in between
would
a
now.
family.
I would now. Going back.
Oh man,
I survived
bro.
so many middle seats. They're not
And I had to
that
act the
Yeah,
whole
they're
flight
not
like,
that
oh,
bad.
this isn't a big deal. It's fine. I slept
you
almost
know.
none because I almost felt like I couldn't
not
fall
that
asleep
big
at
a
that
deal.
point. I'm like, if I fall asleep, like
They'll need something.
they'll need
Yeah.
something.
They'll have,
I'll have to hold their iPad.
This poor guy, probably named Greg, is gonna need help.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Wow.
It was rough, guys.
Much wow.
So then on the way
you
home,
got
I was
scammed,
like,
bro.
yeah, I got scammed. I'm like, okay, I'm spending 60 extra bucks. I got the exit row seat behind the two-seater, so I had all that leg space. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know what
You
you're
should
talking
have.
about. Bro.
You should have paid the extra money on the way there anyway, because you
I-
could expense all this.
Didn't think about it.
This flight was free for you.
Well, they booked
Bro.
it. I guess I could
Oh, they
expense
booked
that.
it?
Yeah, they booked it.
Oh.
Ah, you could have
Yeah.
just
Weird.
upgraded.
I didn't
Wow,
think.
you had a very different on-site
did.
experience
Very
than
different
I did.
Yeah,
It's like
dude.
it's like we work for different companies.
It's weird.
It's-
They're
yeah.
just
Just so you
different
see who they
departments.
value more.
Yeah.
But now I know if I ever go to Orlando, if you ever go to Orlando, pay the extra money, get into a boarding group because there's going to be
Or just
100
fly
kids.
United
Oh,
or something
100
like a
kids.
normal.
Or do
person.
that.
Or Spirit, bro. Nobody's flies
All right.
Spirit.
Well,
That's for a reason.
all right, Nick. So speaking of scams and Spirit,
Yeah, good one.
I breached our whole church this week. I got an
did
email
indeed.
from one of our deacons, and I'm kind of the tech guy. I get emails all the time, people saying like, "Hey, like, change my email," or like, "Hey, this is my work email. Can you put this one on?" Like, yeah, I do that all the time. So I get a lot of those. So I got an email from not a weird looking email at all. So Tim's email is, I'll make a fake middle name. It's like Manny85. That's Tim's normal email. Well, I got an email with Tim's last name and the same digits.
85.
85. Yeah, sounds
Let's go.
normal. I'm like, I have multiple emails. I got a Yahoo, I got a Gmail, I got an iCloud, I got everything. So I'm like, okay, fine.
You got
He wants-
Yahoo?
I do. I don't use it actively, but I did.
bro.
I was a big Yahoo Answers guy. Yeah, I was pretty big.
It's like having MySpace or something.
Yeah.
yeah, but
MySpace
before
is
that.
coming back, by the way.
It is?
Is
Yeah.
it?
No.
It's trying.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
So I get this email and it says, "Hey Mark, can you change my email in Church Center, Planning Center?" Like, yeah, I could do that. Seemed legit. Didn't think a thing of it because it's my church and it's somebody I know. Well, that was somebody who had targeted us as a church,
Oh, they
and they used now that the email was changed in the account, they used the forgot password button and were able to change the password and then get into the account. Thankfully, Tim wasn't like an admin of the account, barely had any privileges. Sorry, Tim. And,
Sorry, Tim.
but thankfully, so all he got, I think, was basic emails and maybe some phone numbers. So no addresses, no anything like that. We eventually found the hole because Josh started getting tons of messages saying, "Hey, I got an email from what looks like your account." It wasn't saying
funny.
"Hey,
Yes, sir.
I have a discreet thing I would like you to handle." Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
here I got
Yeah,
an
you can
email.
Read it
so
out,
I
bro.
could-
Read it out. I got it too, and so did my wife.
Yeah,
got
so
nothing.
I got an email from Josh Green, and his email in this instance was joshgreen.thecalvary@gmail. So interesting.
Same.
Hello.
Which is close. His email is josh.green@thecalvary.
Yeah. But this one is hello, space, comma, space. Are you less busy at the moment? No space.
space, yeah.
I have a request and want you to handle it confidentially with 2 L's and discreetly, which also I'm pretty sure that's the wrong version of discreetly. Space, period, space. Let me know if you're available. Bless you and yours. Josh Green, lead pastor.
Ugh.
Calvary Severance Church.
Bro, I got the same one.
So we don't. As far as we know, nobody fell for it.
No.
For that.
I got a text from Lauren, and she was like, scam? Question mark. And I was like, for sure, babe. Like, what do you mean? Question mark.
Because that has actually happened before. We've gotten, I think, that exact email verbatim.
Oh, I've gotten that. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
But it was only to the people in our like staff on our staff page that have all of our emails publicly.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, somebody's just trying to impersonate, like whoop-de-doo. But then when I found out that Samuel got one this time, I was like, how did they get Samuel's note? I wasn't.
I love the slow realization after, because I just like jokingly sent you the screenshot, and then you were like, haha, oh wait.
Oh, wait.
I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I was like, wait a second.
Oh, wait up.
How did they get your email?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of like, wait, like, okay, what? Like, that's not on our website.
No.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Dang, bro.
And then Brett Mattson, pretty short after that, was like, hey, did you change an email? And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I did. It was like, is that part of it? He's like, I think so. So yeah.
way,
So then
Brett,
him and I
dude.
spent the next hour or so just searching through logins, and we just looked at all the IP activity. There were 2 other accounts, one that happened like a few weeks ago, and one that happened yesterday, like that were a little sketchy. So we just disabled the accounts, let them know like, hey, reset your password, turn on 2-factor authentication.
Dude, let's go.
So
Brett.
yeah, I
Hero.
opened up our whole church to a breach.
Dude, that's all right.
And then Isaac made a meme. You know the meme of Obama giving himself a medal?
Yeah.
Isaac made it. Mark causing the breach. Mark fixing the breach.
Bro, that is so funny.
Yeah, it was a rough 24 hours. So.
Dang, bro.
But
that's tight.
yeah, so I opened up the church to all of that. So hopefully nobody got scammed.
Wow, we're a
I'll
small
feel
enough
really
church, and
bad.
we're all pretty smart. So.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we're small enough to where like everybody knows and has Josh's phone number.
Yeah.
And he knows everybody.
Oh, yeah.
More or less. So that's a benefit. If it was a bigger church, I cannot
Watch
imagine.
out. Yeah.
I just want to know, what would have, I was so tempted to email back. Just
Yeah, like,
because I
what would
wanted to,
happen?
because
Like,
like
what was
nothing,
next? So somebody
nothing can
did.
happen from just emailing
Email.
back.
They
Yeah.
wanted, somebody's parent did from student ministry, and they wanted
Hilarious.
gift cards
Oh, okay.
for,
Yeah, of
always
course,
gift
bro.
cards. Gift cards
Of
for,
course.
I don't know if it was women or a woman who has cancer. That's it. And then thankfully they sent
that's
that.
pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But I know it's kind of
But
scary.
gift cards, though?
Gift cards. Yeah, like
That doesn't make
DoorDash.
sense for
maybe.
for a church
And
setting.
yeah, what a weird thing for your pastor to discreetly ask you in an email. But hey, I fell for something just now. So
Yeah, well, that's all right.
I feel like an idiot. Like if anybody, on our staff that should not have fallen for something like that, it's me.
It's you.
I literally
for
have a
sure.
degree in IT. I'm the tech guy.
Yep.
Brett said that he's going to make fun of me for like the rest of my life now.
Dude,
for that
as
happening.
he should.
Yeah. So, so anyway, scams, Southwest, this church thing. And then, so we're going to talk about scams today. Nick's got a little article.
Oh, yeah.
Samuel's got a personal story about scams
yeah.
that he is not thrilled about.
No.
Dude, he's
But
not
you can-
thrilled about.
You can share if you'd like.
Yeah, I might as well. So, hopefully this doesn't just ruin everybody and anybody's respect for me.
No.
But I have to remember it. So this was in 2019.
Sometime in the
2019, yeah. I was living alone in Denver, and I was living in an apartment complex, living alone, all that stuff, and I'm trying to remember how they contacted me, but I was at work, and I got contacted by Excel Energy, who is my electric company,
Sure.
that just like everybody else in Colorado,
Yeah.
and got contacted by them that I was behind on my bill, and that like if I didn't like pay them back immediately, my power would get cut off. And like normally I'd be a lot more level-headed about that, and like I checked my account, like everything seemed fine. Checked my like credit card statements, like everything was there, but I went into like full panic and like confusion mode for
Yep,
some reason.
that's
Like
what
I've
they-
gotten like plenty of scams like this and stuff before, but for some reason this one just didn't like click for me. One of the reasons I started panicking is because in my lease agreement for that apartment is if any of your utilities get cut off, you immediately get evicted. Or they like can immediately file eviction and like just kick you out.
Wild.
And so that's why I started like just going fight or flight.
Yeah, of
and
course.
the email it came from looked very, very legit. Like had all of Excel's like graphics and everything. Like if I remember right, they even like spoofed the email itself, so it looked like it came from Excel. So I like called the number that was on there, and like everything about it, like looking back, was like very, very clearly a scam. And
when you're not in the right
yeah.
mindset, like
yeah, and like
looking for
after
it.
that is when this specific scam like really blew up, and I saw it like everywhere.
you were the first one.
But
You're the
yeah,
guinea pig.
I was the first one that like I
local
saw.
Denver man,
Yeah, I know,
scammed out of dollars.
But yeah, so like they wanted me to like, and like I said, as I go forward, like everything is so obvious now, but whatever.
It's okay. There's grace. There's grace,
dude.
Yeah, and so they wanted like I needed to pay back like this really significant. It was like $1,800, which was insane, worth of like utility.
No
and
way.
so I was like, at every point I was like, this doesn't really make sense, but like I don't want to get like I don't want to lose
Evicted.
my apartment.
Yeah, bro.
And
That's how they get you.
yeah, and so.
Man.
Yeah, like it was a gift card scam, so I like had to take out these like cash cards. They weren't gift cards; it was like some weird like cash card. So I took out a bunch of money in those. And nowadays, like gas station attendants and stuff are more trained on this, and they should like stop people typically.
Yeah.
But the dude just like let me take out all this cash and like put it all in these cards, and he was just like, "Oh, sick, bro." And I was like,
God, bro,
and
enjoy
looking
those
back, I'm
things,
like,
dude.
why didn't you like? Why didn't you even just like ask?
Well, what kind of cars were you putting on?
They were just some kind of cash card that you can use for like pretty much anything. They have a code attached to them, and you
Like
can
a
use
like a
them anywhere.
Visa gift card.
It wasn't a
type
Visa
thing,
gift
or-
card. It was
Something
weird.
similar.
It was
Something similar,
green. That's all I remember from it.
green card.
And then like the guy just wanted the number for it over the phone and was going to pay stuff that way. And so
Sure.
yeah, like I gave him like the numbers for it, and then
It's interesting, like because that right there. Because if it was just like, hey, give me your credit card,
yeah.
but that right there, that's funny that you didn't catch that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Were
and
you
like
married at
I
the
was
time?
just no, we were dating.
Okay.
I was just like in full like I've never like
Panicked so
honestly
much.
I've
Panicking
never
about a
like
different
gone
situation,
into
yeah.
such a like catatonic state mentally like this.
Yeah,
like
sure.
It's just
rough.
like looking back, like I just don't understand how it happened to me at all.
Well,
and
it's like, hey, this is gonna happen now. What this guy is telling me,
yeah,
this is the only solution.
yep, exactly.
So I have to do it. You know, I'm in
And-
it. I'm all in.
Yeah, and so
man.
like I gave him that stuff, like the initial like set of money, which wasn't much, and then a few minutes later he called back and he was like, "Hey, this like didn't process or something like that," and so he had me go get more, and I got like one more or something, called him again, and then
No
after
way.
that, like after the third call or whatever it was, I think I like texted my dad about it or texted a friend about it, something like that. And they were just like, "Are you sure this isn't a scam?" And immediately like that moment I completely snapped out.
yes, it is.
And I was
Right.
like, like the last like 3 hours of my life at that point just like hit me like a train. And I just like snapped. Like I was just like sobbing because I had like given away like and these are like non-refundable. Like
Yep.
you can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's just gone.
That's why they did. Yeah.
And it was like a month's worth of rent basically at that point.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how in the world did this happen? And so I looked up the like cash card company, and they had a way to like report fraud, but you had to do it like super quick.
Sure, yeah,
Like
bro.
before the person on the other end like redeems it. And so I like filled them all out, reported them, and a few minutes later the scammer calls me back and just starts swearing at me immediately.
Oh,
He's like,
dude.
"How the f did you do that?" Like
Whoa.
he was so, like he had never had somebody.
So you got it all back.
No, I didn't get it all back. I got like $200 back.
okay.
It was just one card.
Dang, bro.
But yeah, it was rough, and I
Nice.
have thankfully never gotten even remotely close to something like that happening again.
Yeah, when that happens
Don't-
once,
like
you're
yeah, I'm like
Oh yeah, bro.
I'm like hardened now. Like it's just like that is
hardened.
holy cow. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
dude.
and it's from a software engineer too. Like that's
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
yikes. Yeah.
Dang, bro.
Nick, have you been scammed?
No.
Okay, cool.
I've been scammed.
Cool.
I think people have tried to scam me. You know, like, oh,
I've tried to scam you.
Nigerian prince or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
Classic.
oh yeah,
They've gotten a lot better nowadays.
I'm just
It all
hoping
comes
one.
down to
I'm
the
just hoping
gift
one of those
cards
pays
now.
off. You know, like one of those
one
is
of
legit.
them. One of them is actually a Nigerian prince, bro. That'd be so tight. But I've emailed people like that back before. Oh my gosh, what can I do? You know,
They're like,
just kinda
"Give me
those
your
guys.
account number and routing number, and you'll see."
Yeah, and then I just mess with them. So
There's some
was
really there's a really crazy like job placement one that I've heard about recently. I had a friend who it like started happening to, and thankfully they realized it recently, but they like set up these like kind of fake companies that you just apply for, like they can be on LinkedIn and
Wow.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you apply, get the job. They'll like do a couple rounds of like very basic just behavioral interviews and stuff, and then give you the job, and they will send you let's see if I can remember right.
Like a
they
direct deposit
they send you like a check for your onboarding stuff, so like buying a computer and stuff like that. They'll send you the check for it, or like direct it to your account. It'll go into your account like it's legit, and then have you like buy a computer. So you'll buy like a nice new MacBook, you'll buy new gear or whatever, and then they'll basically revoke that check or ask for the money back. And on their end, they'll submit a fraud claim with their bank, which
Yeah.
bounces the money from your account. And they'll also try to get you to pay them back. So if you
Right.
like are understanding and you pay them
bro.
back, you send the money back to them, they still go through with the fraud report, which then deducts that same amount of money again from your account.
Again, dude.
So they'll
double
get
scam.
their original money back, and then they'll get
And then-
the money you
yeah.
sent.
Sheesh.
So it's nuts. And
That's
those ones have gotten
crazy.
like really good. Like you go through actual interviews. Like they have like
so-
actual like DocuSign accounts.
Why
Like
don't you just like
contracts that you
start a
sign.
business at that point?
I know. Yeah.
You just start a business,
like,
bro.
oh my gosh, like you're working
Like,
really hard
dang.
to
Just
be
'cause, like
illegal.
these are businesses. Like there's YouTubers and stuff who dig into these like scam centers and stuff. They're all based in India, but they're like full like multi-million-dollar businesses that
Oh, yeah.
operate
Oh my
this
gosh,
stuff, and they
that's
make a
crazy.
ludicrous amount of money.
and they
Oh,
like
yeah,
they
for
prey
sure.
on obviously like the elderly, but also idiots.
but
like
also,
us.
23-year-old software
Yeah.
engineers.
Yeah, it happened. It happened. Like nobody's immune
Bro.
to it,
Yeah.
which is why you just got. I mean, obviously that'll never happen to you again.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
And
definitely not. Definitely.
Anytime I get an email now about changing changing an email, I'm like, okay, like let me text this person directly.
Yeah.
now. I'll make
Yeah.
sure
At
that
this
this
point,
is
if
legit.
like any of you
Oh,
like
yeah.
claim I owe you money, like I have to see you in person.
you can always
I'm
Venmo.
just gonna like email you
always
guys. I'm gonna be like, hey man, I need a updated email.
yeah.
What if we just start doing that to me? Like we just try to scam each other.
Bro,
that'd be
so
awesome.
Get a new phone number and be like,
Oh my
hey, this
God.
is Mark's new phone number.
Yeah,
I am now Mark Becker.
Yuck.
bro.
Well,
be
Nick,
funny.
do you have any scam stories to share? You have like some big ones.
Yeah, like
you're our lookup guy.
historical big one.
Yeah.
So I found this article. It says the 5 of the most remarkable instances in the history of fraud.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
Samuel, would you consider your fraud remarkable?
To me, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so this one, I guess this is like the earliest record of someone trying to fraud somebody.
Okay.
I'm sure it didn't happen. This was in 300 BC. I'm sure there's frauds that happened before that, but no record of it, I guess. I don't know. So there's this guy, he was a merchant, and basically what he was doing, he was getting corn at this port. He was going to he was supposed to go to a different port to sell this corn, but instead he would go to a third port, sell the corn, go on his way to this other port, purposely sink his ship so that he still gets the money from the other merchants that are supposed to buy the corn. And apparently it backfired because his crew found him like trying to deliberately sink their ship, and they threw him overboard and he drowned to death.
Whoa!
Yeah. So yeah, not fun, obviously. So I know. I don't know. That was 300 BC.
So that was the first one. What's the most recent? Like today?
So today?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
Nick's like, I guess I gotta look it up.
look it up, bro.
Nick, I feel like
Oh my God,
somehow
bro.
Nick's the only one who hasn't been scammed in this table.
Somehow,
He
bro.
just fell for that.
Dude. Well, do you know, like, so this is interesting. There's another one that happened in 1920. You guys ever heard of, like, that's a Ponzi scheme? You heard that
Ponzi.
phrase before?
Oh, yeah.
Ponzi scheme?
Yep.
So that's, like, based off this guy named Charles Ponzi.
Ponzi, yeah.
Bro. Crazy. I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
Do you know the story?
I know. I've heard the story. I forget what all he did, but I mean, basically, he would borrow money from somebody and say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you back this much of investment."
Yep.
Like I think it was like a 50%. Like it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
was it 50%?
Yeah,
Alright.
50%.
And then he go borrow millions from somebody else, and then
Yep.
pay the first people back
original- yep.
with their interest, and then would just like keep doing it. So like it
Yeah.
was staying afloat until it just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh,
and
yeah.
eventually he obviously accumulated all this money, and then
Well, he got found out. He had
Yeah.
$10 million, but before they could catch him, he fled the country.
yeah,
So I don't know if he ever got caught.
I think he did a handful of times, but
A handful of times.
well, like that was the same thing happened with like the Wolf of Wall Street movie.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like that was based on a similar story, and the guy who funded the Wolf of Wall Street movie was literally doing that exact same thing.
no.
Yeah, so the original guy, the original guy who like the book and the movie was based on.
Yeah.
When he met, I think his name is J Lo or Joe Blow,
Lo.
something like that, And
I was like,
look it up. Not J Lo. It was like Joe Lo or Joe something.
J-Lo into this.
Type in Joe Low, Wolf of Wall Street, and so he was the producer. He's funding this movie like out of his pockets, and the guy who the movie was based after said,
Joe
Lo.
Joe.
he said, I don't trust Joe Low at all. He's like, nobody has that amount of money, and then just spends it and flaunts it like crazy. And then eventually he was arrested for
That
the exact
is
same
nuts.
thing. Yeah, true story.
Dude, yeah, Malaysian fugitive businessman. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
dude,
nuts?
That is so crazy.
Yeah, so the guy who funded the movie about a scammer was literally doing the exact same scamming.
Dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You
it's crazy.
Such a baller move.
Dude, that is so
He just really wanted to be rubbing necks with Leo and all those rubbing shoulders.
Wow.
Shoulders.
I was like, rubbing necks, bro.
I said that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's also over 25, and Leo doesn't go for over 25.
that's true. He prefers
He
19.
defers.
prefers. Did I say differs?
Oh, I thought you said defers. I was like, that's funny.
He defers to the lowers.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, scams.
So obviously that's kind of similar to Fire Festival.
Oh, Firefest.
Yeah.
Have you not? If you've not seen any of the Firefest
The
documentaries,
documentary? Oh, come on.
whew,
So good.
It's good.
testify.
Testify. Testify.
Someday I want to be able to do something, say something, or be something to where I get a solid testify from somebody.
yeah, bro.
Somebody across the street just yells "testify." Like, man, that'll
I don't
make my
hear
life.
testify very often.
No, I don't
I know.
It's more like
I know.
preach, amen, come on.
That's why testify is like one specific group of people. And you gotta really
Gotta
hone
really
in on
find
that.
them and
Nick,
impress
can you
them.
become that?
I could
person
probably.
at work?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I
That's-
say
that
a
was
lot of things, guys.
It's true.
so- I have a lot of catchphrases, so.
That's true. Tell us about Firefest.
Yo, obviously, if you've seen the documentaries, Fire Festival, I don't know.
FY,
I don't know
RE.
the guy. Do you remember his name?
Billy Yep.
Billy McFarland. Yeah, he partnered with some investors to try to get this festival going at some secluded island.
You guys remember the rapper who he partnered with?
What
was his name?
Ja Rule.
Yeah, Ja Rule.
I know.
That's a basketball player.
Yeah, I like that rapper J. Rule. No, Ja Rule. I don't know any of his music. But
Yeah,
that
bro,
was-
wild. And then like he promised all these things, and then he was like, "We're gonna get
it was
this
like Coachella.
done." Yeah, it was like Coachella. It's like we're gonna have these cabanas. We're gonna have all these like people that are gonna come. All these like Instagram influencers are gonna promote it, and it was big.
That's how he made it blow up.
Yeah,
He
what's the
hired
promotion?
A bunch of like really famous models.
Yeah, like
had
Instagram
huge
models.
Instagram.
Yeah,
models and
Oh.
marketing firms
Yeah.
And marketing firms.
knew what they were doing.
Crazy.
Had them all simultaneous. Like they had this like very intricate like marketing plan.
Brilliant.
Oh, it was incredible.
Month marketing plan that got so many eyeballs on this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for
they all
sure.
posted like the same burnt orange
Yeah.
like picture.
Mhm. Yep.
And
To get
yeah, it was
things
really,
rolling.
I mean, incredible marketing. Honestly, he had the bands lined up. He had everything lined up. The only thing he just wasn't ready for was actually people showing up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The
Yeah.
key component of a festival
Yeah.
where people actually show
Yeah.
up.
If he had live streamed this thing, it would have been
Oh,
great.
it would have been sick, dude.
But when you've got, I don't know how many, like, was it like 50,000? I don't know how many
It was-
thousands.
It was like
100,000?
100,000.
It was an insane number.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy, dude.
And like the island
Well,
couldn't
and then
handle it.
well, the island they had to switch, right? Because it was supposed to be at one island, and that totally fell through. So then they like went to this other island, but only had like a corner of the island,
Yeah.
and it was just bad, you know.
And
All
they
the
were
bands
prepared for the
dropped
amount
out.
of people to come. Like they were settled on the amount of people that were coming for like months ahead of time. I think.
Oh
They
yeah,
just couldn't figure out lodging for them
no,
because they were
yeah,
originally going to have like people on the island like rent out their like townhouses and stuff
Mhm.
for like the higher tier ticket holders, and then they were going to have like cabanas and like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, bro.
tents, but like luxury tents.
Luxury
Yeah,
tent.
like
So it'd be
Coachella
sick.
stuff.
Yeah, like Coachella.
or like.
But it was
not really Burning Man. 'cause
it
they
was-
all bring their own stuff. But,
Yeah,
and then they get stuck in the mud. Like
And people
Yeah.
were spending
But
thousands.
thousands.
Like I think the
Tens of
cheapest,
thousands.
the cheapest thing was like $10,000.
yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh,
and that
for
was
sure.
like,
that was
and it
like
was like
base
a-
price, bro.
yeah, they were like ultimately, I think they were like army like
they're
shelters, FEMA shelters. Yeah.
emergency shelters.
Oh,
And
yeah,
when
dude.
people got there, all of like the tents were set up, but like all of
nothing.
the mattresses and stuff were still like shrink wrapped.
Yep.
They were just like these crappy little like weird mattresses.
Mhm.
There weren't toilets,
Yeah.
or like enough toilets. There wasn't food.
There's no way.
Like, there was nothing, and then people couldn't get out. Like
They couldn't leave.
No, they were
too
stuck
many
on the
people coming
island.
in,
Yeah.
and they had no transport,
Yep,
and they were just stuck. There was one flight in and out like each day.
bro.
There were
Crazy.
some of the houses that they actually rented. Like some people did get those houses.
Yeah.
Like if you got there soon enough,
Yep.
there were some houses that you actually like paid for and were able to get into. And
But if you
yeah,
did not, you got
Tent you go.
yeah.
brutal. I just
Yeah, bro.
it's the craziest story you'll ever hear.
It's such a
wild.
good documentary.
But guess what?
So now
He's doing another
you're
one
doing it again. So
to tie that up, he went to jail
yeah,
for
for
quite a few
years.
years.
for a few
and
years.
is in like hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. Like he has to pay back everything, and
Yeah.
he like
He never will.
I listened to a podcast with him. He like even on salary he makes and
Like
stuff,
he was on this
everything-
podcast.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's really good.
Whoa.
Everything over a certain income level, I think anything over like 50K or something he makes per year immediately gets ejected and
Oh,
goes
yeah.
to like his debts.
Wow.
So like
Oh,
he's
100%.
capped at like a specific amount of money he can make until he pays off $100 million in debt. And that
Dang,
includes,
dude.
like, he doesn't even have a loophole. Like it's one of the tightest things I've ever heard because he can't take stock as compensation because of the like SEC.
whoa.
He
Yikes.
can't take investor funding. He
Wow.
can't take he's totally locked out, and any salary or pay he makes just gets immediately shot off to these debt holders. It is insane. He's just so screwed.
Then why? So why is he doing this second one to hopefully just pay off the debt?
Dude, I don't know.
Like,
And
what's
the
his goal here?
podcast-
Because 100 million is a
The
lot.
podcast I was
That is a
listening
lot.
to,
But
with him, yeah, you could tell.
if
Yeah, read
this
us.
like, so there's passes that you can buy, and what I'm seeing is that one, like the highest access pass, is worth
At Firefest 2.
at Firefest 2 is worth $1.02 million.
Whoa.
Like that's one pass. And apparently they've already sold out of the first drop of passes.
Gosh. We said, well, he sells 100 of those.
He says 100, which isn't that much, honestly. There's a lot more than 100.
Man, I really wonder. When is this? Is this next year?
This is, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like in a couple months.
No,
No,
2024.
Okay, next year. I was like, oh my gosh,
12 p.m.
too soon.
At 12 p.m. apparently.
Yikes.
At
Where
that
is it? Is it
time
the
for
same
that
spot?
day, it's in the Caribbean.
Oh my goodness.
The Caribbean Sea.
What?
It's the sea.
So they don't actually have a location yet?
So I don't know. It might be Fire Festival Round 2 tragedy.
I mean, here's the deal.
So we'll
if you
see.
can get there, what's the cheapest way you can get there?
What
do you mean,
Caribbean
flights?
shouldn't be like.
I mean, like
No.
ticket. Like, what's the cheapest ticket on there?
Who knows?
I literally there's
Literally
only
doesn't say.
one price and it's 1.02 million.
That's the only thing you can do?
That's the
at the moment?
only ticket
That's
that
all
is
Whoa.
listed.
when they do another drop.
Yeah, because I mean, if you can get there like fairly cheap, it can make your
This is just
influencer
extra stuff.
YouTube channel. Like it can make your whole career going to that. So like I get why
Oh,
people
yeah.
are going, but I cannot like why would you spend $1 million? Like who has $1 million? Who has that much money to be like, this was a
there's
scam the first time.
my gosh.
Let's gamble it again.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Golly.
Bro.
I am so ready for this documentary.
It's funny 'cause
Yeah,
on
I mean, same.
on the podcast
good.
that he was on, the two hosts of it are like very successful business owners, have sold multiple businesses, like well respected. And this Billy is like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna do it again. And they were like, Billy,
What?
you're an idiot.
No
Straight up
way.
called him an idiot.
Bro,
on the
good for
podcast.
them, dude.
And they were like, if you go through with this, you are one of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. And 2 months later, this gets
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
Golly. Is Ja Rule a part of this one?
I have no idea. I
It's
mean,
actually Drake the star.
I
no,
hope
Kanye,
not.
Kanye.
let's see.
That'd be
It would be
hilarious.
Kanye though.
I have no idea.
Wow. Well, that's scams.
Yep, that scams, man.
Yeah. PSA: don't get scammed.
Please.
Listen to us
Yep.
because we have been scammed. Yeah, just don't do it.
Don't do
Yeah,
it.
we don't recommend it.
Just think before.
Think before you get scammed. That's my motto. I wake up every morning and I'm like, I need to not get scammed today.
Lord, let me not get scammed today.
Yes.
That's all.
Let me be scam free. Scam free since 23. Well, I guess I can say that. That starts over at 0 now.
Yeah. Since late 23.
What something else with this fire festival thing is you can join the fire crew.
Oh, let's do it.
You can like be on the crew to help.
Okay, how much
play.
does that cost?
It says it's free.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure what is happening here.
Approval required, though. I bet they want a lot of money.
Wow.
$350
Guys, let's go.
is a crew trip, is what they're calling it.
Let's go.
But
Wait, this starts off. Hold on. This starts off. The description is when I was in jail.
Yeah, I wanted to write a book.
Oh my gosh. What a way to start a sentence.
Bro.
Hold on.
Oh
I
my
was asked
gosh.
if anybody would care about my story. To answer the question, I wrote a memoir introduction that tried to capture the
magic.
the magic and sheer ridiculousness of what was happening on the weekend trips that ultimately led to the festival. A few months after I wrote my intro, the documentaries came out. You know some of the stories.
Oh.
Some.
This group trip is basically for him to tell you about all the crazy stuff he originally did on the other group trips.
Oh my
Fire festival.
gosh, bro.
This is hilarious.
That is wild.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
Oh
Price keep
wait.
changing,
Yeah, it says
dude.
350 up here. It says 3,500 up here. Or down there.
Or
Or
5,500 for a group of two.
oh
Okay, so it's definitely 3,500. The first one was a typo.
Oh, okay. A 10% deposit of 350
Oh my god.
is required to reserve a spot.
Bro, almost 10 grand. Yeah.
$9,000.
Yeah.
We'll be on our
Well, if we
cruise,
do
guys.
Isaac,
You're
You're
good at fundraising.
we can bring
I am.
Isaac.
Can we?
We can bring Isaac and we can do it for $1,100. I mean, $11,000.
11. I was like 1,100.
Oh,
Oh, that
man.
sounds pretty cheap. No.
Can
11,000.
Can we start a GoFundMe?
To get us to Firefest too.
Bro, that
To
would be
send the
wild.
Comment jar pod.
Oh
on
my god.
This will make us a career
Dude.
podcast.
Dude,
Yeah.
100%. Oh my gosh, that would be wild, guys. That'd be so wild.
11K.
The 5 listeners we have left after going away for a month.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you are interested,
No,
in
we're still gonna
contributing
record
any
while
money,
we're there.
If you are
I
also
will
secretly
go.
rich.
I would
You would go?
100% go if we
Dang.
were.
Maybe let's just
No,
get
guys,
like,
we're on our cruise.
No, 2024.
No,
Oh, you're right. It's
Next year.
2024.
We got a whole year to raise 11 grand.
Bro, I might be in Disneyland.
How
do you already know what you're doing?
Be on a group trip for the
To the Caribbean.
Oh, no way. That'd be crazy.
Anyway,
All right.
I gotta go home and make pancakes.
$11,000.
Yeah, good call, bro.
Yeah.
Good call.
Okay. Well, that was scams.
Scams.
In other news, before we go, we put up our Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah, and we're about to put up our Christmas tree.
Yeah. We're gonna
We
decorate.
made
it
a whole
tonight, I
date
think.
night of putting up Christmas tree date night.
Yeah, it's
tight.
the most wonderful time of the year.
It is the most
Christmas
wonderful time of the year.
starts in October.
Yes.
Samuel.
Sure.
Nice. Let's go.
Like second week of December and when I was growing up. So.
Oh, that's so sad. Do you want to unpack that, or do you want to go make pancakes?
No, he wants to go make pancakes. So
Relationship with my family, we're happy.
Well, guys, we have no s'mores today because I spent 80
Next
minutes
week.
talking about my flight experience in
Yeah,
Orlando.
that's
But yeah, thanks for listening. We're back. We only took a month off for various reasons, mainly because I was sick. Then I was out of town. Samuel's out of town.
All of us were out
Nick's
of town.
always out of
Once a
town.
week where
It was just
none
me.
of us
Weekend, bro.
could do it.
Yeah, there was. Well, I was available that week,
Oh, yeah.
but I wasn't going to do it by myself. So, but yeah, now we're back, and Isaac isn't here, by the way, FYI.
yeah.
And
Will he ever be again?
I don't. It's 2 weeks in a row. I think
It's
he's
hard- it's
2
hard to
weeks.
tell.
It's hard to tell. His hair is thinning.
Yep.
It's it's concerning.
Leaving.
It'll be gone.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the comment jar. I'll see you next week. Bye.